President Donald Trump with a stark warning for Iran, writing, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will."
This could be a high-stakes negotiating tactic to try to get them to blink, but so far they haven't.
The threat made hours before the president's imposed 8 p.m. Eastern Time deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz and make a deal to end the war.
Whether it's positive or negative, we're going to get a response from the Iranians by 8 o'clock tonight. I hope they make the right response.
Overnight, U.S. strikes hit military targets on Iran's Karg Island, where almost all the country's oil is exported from, according to a U.S. official who added the strikes did not target oil facilities.
It's a very small place, but there's a significant amount of economic activity there, and that economic activity does in fact benefit the Iranian Revolutionary Guards and the Iranian military.
This video appearing to show a human chain forming around an Iranian power plant. Iranian state media says civilian infrastructure across the country, including railway lines and roads, have been attacked. Israel saying Tuesday its strikes are targeting railways and bridges in the country used by the military.
Going after the bridges and railroads and things like that it makes it more difficult for Russia or China to get overland support in.
The Artemis II crew passing by the far side of the moon, getting views that could offer a rare glimpse into some of the moon's mysteries, as well as critical information for future missions that aim to put astronauts back on the lunar surface.
Hello, Artemis II. This is Apollo astronaut Jim Lovell. Welcome to my old neighborhood.
On day 6 of their mission, the crew of Artemis II waking up to a recording from recently deceased Apollo 13 astronaut Jim Lovell.
I'm proud to pass that torch on to you as you swing around the moon and lay the groundwork for missions to Mars.
Their lunar flyby breaking his record, traveling farther from Earth than any human, and setting eyes on parts of the moon no human has before.
We most importantly choose this moment to challenge this generation and the next to make sure this record is not long-lived.
At their closest, an estimated distance of 4,070 miles from the moon, the crew will be surveying the moon's far side, which always faces away from Earth. The astronauts received extensive training from experts in how to scientifically observe the moon and its unique features.
They'll be taking pictures, making observations, pretty much the whole day event.
Views that can reveal more about its history, also noting details on soil composition, terrain, and other insights that will be vital to future missions.
At some point, we got to go back to the surface, and we're doing a bit of a recon right now, in addition to testing the spacecraft.
In all, the astronauts have roughly 7 hours to look, take notes, and photos during the flyby.
We're going to learn an awful lot about the spacecraft, which is pretty paramount to set up for subsequent missions like Artemis 3 in 2027, and of course, the lunar landing itself on Artemis 4 in 2028.
And after the crew's lunar flyby ends, they'll begin transferring some of their observations and images back to mission control. We're told that NASA's science team will then begin reviewing those images and observations and will review them with the crew.
All right, let's get to work, yeah?
We think that Homelander is looking for the V1.
It's Vought's first iteration of Compound V. If Homelander got his hands on some, he'd be an immortal.
After 5 seasons, The Boys is coming to a close.
You one of us now?
Well, if you can't beat him, join him.
In many ways, this is the role of a lifetime. Playing Billy Butcher on The Boys has been an incredible experience. I think not only for the personal growth that I've experienced, but that I've been a part of.
This is our last chance.
It's very bittersweet. I feel very grateful that we were able to wrap up the show in a very intentional way, and that we were able to wrap up the show aware that it was actually ending. So we were able to kind of do it with the amount of creative integrity that one would hope for.
The only thing we have left is hope.
I approached it with really the appropriate amount of terror. Finales are super hard, and people have a habit of retroactively judging a series based on how they felt about the finale. So it's scary, but I think that fear was helpful because I didn't go into any of it carelessly or arrogantly.